You can't go to court looking like Sideshow Bob, bro. You gotta at least button up a little bit, bro.
No, I ain't button. This is what I look like. This is what my money look like.
Hey, hello. This is Ron the Censor. I got a special guest, Sam Bass. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right.
Your volume, yeah, I can't.
Oh, I said I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. Just enjoying the weather on the East Coast, man. How about yourself, man? How's it the Pacific at time? You in Seattle, right?
No, I'm in Portland, but yeah, it's pretty hot out here. It's not as hot as Arizona, but it's we're getting into the hundreds, so
hundreds. It gets up to hundreds.
Yeah, it's a weird weather here, but at least at night it cools down, so that's kind of nice.
Okay. What made you take the move from New York?
Well, I didn't just go there directly. Like, I had a crazy childhood, so that's probably why I do comedy. But I was just born in New York, and I lived in Texas, and I lived in California, and now I've been in Oregon since 2010.
Okay, so you've been there for 14 years.
Yeah, it's been a good 14 years out here. It's a healthy environment for sure.
You know what I mean? Ain't Kurt Cobain from the Seattle area, right?
Yeah. He was really into his own. He was into his own head a lot. He blew it off.
Yeah, so that's just got a lot of history. Portland and Washington in general.
Yeah, I went up and visited Bruce Lee's grave up in Seattle.
Oh, how was that?
I mean, he was dead, so he didn't have much to say.
He got his practice in though.
But no, I used to read his books and stuff. So
yeah, I think his methods were great. You know what I mean? Just overall about practice. I'm thinking you can take that to anything part of your life. Just practicing something.
Yeah, he did. He did talk about, like, I don't fear the man that knows 1,000 kicks. I fear the man that's practiced one kick 1,000 times.
So what? So you said your rough childhood, the reason why you got in comedy, man. So how long have you been doing comedy for?
I'm in my 4th year, the middle of it.
Okay, so what you just said one day I'm gonna do an open mic, or what?
Sorry. Nah, like, I've been thinking about it for a minute because I got into comedy as a kid, and I just needed stuff to laugh about because my childhood was pretty sad. So I had to find external reasons, But yeah, I think it was after my mom passed away, and about a year after that, I felt like I could go up on stage and do spoken word, comedy type stuff. And I just thought I'd give it a try because I've been writing for over 10 years and I love to write. So
what is your writing process? Do you use the phone or use paper?
Like with jokes? Yeah, I don't like sit down and write.
Mm-hmm.
It hits me, and then I have to go and write down that idea, and then I'll go and take that idea up on stage and test it out and see what I need to do to make it into a good joke, or if it even makes sense to continue doing it.
So so you say just sometimes you just throw it in the wall like spaghetti, and if it hits, it hits pretty much.
Yeah, well, the jokes, open mic or just doing a lot of time on stage, you get a chance to try out jokes. And I personally, I would rather do a new joke than an old joke, just because it's more exciting. There's more at risk, and it's just more fun to do a new joke. But you got to be able to do your old jokes too, which is important. I just, yeah, when I go up on stage, I like the rush, and when it gets too boring, I get a little. I need to spice it up. So I always try to do new jokes every week. I probably do a handful of new jokes every week. I'm probably writing at least like a good new 5 to 10 minutes of material every week. And that's just like coming to me. I'm not like sitting down and being like, I got to write some jokes today. I don't even try to write comedy. It just hits me.
Yeah, I only been doing it for like 4 months. Sometimes I just work, I go to work and an idea just pop up, and I just say, let me just write the premise down.
Yeah, dude, I almost had a car accident trying to write down an idea.
Oh shit, that's crazy.
Yeah. So
and your bio on Facebook is crazy. I said, yo, ex-Jew boy. I said, man, why would he write this down on his bio? I said, yo, that's fly though.
I don't know. What does my bio say?
I think it said ex-Jew boy, something on it.
Oh, I don't even know, because I haven't updated my Facebook bio in probably, I don't know, maybe like 10 years. I don't even know, man. Wow. Like, you go to my website, that has a better bio on it. Okay. But
so how many showcases you been on? How many showcases, and you done any touring?
Nah, I mean, I'm not trying to do any touring right now because I just don't have the ability to leave this. I can leave the state, for like a day or two, but that's about it. And I need to. I have 2 cats, and I don't have anyone to take care of them, and I don't have like really the funding to just kind of leave and go away for like a week or 2 weeks or something like that. But as far as like showcases, I've been on. I don't know how many I've been on. I usually get on like at least 2 to 3 a month on average, I guess, for the last year and a half, maybe a year. So something like that. And then I also do other things, like I'm hosting some open mics that are just happening like every bi-weekly, and I've hosted a show. I'm doing this. I'm opening and hosting at this show this coming 14th at McMenamin's Al's Den, and I think it's like 7 or 8 p.m. and I'll be just I'll be doing my comedy, but the rest of the show will be music. So it's not even a comedy show. So it's just, you do random stuff, you get random gigs. I was hosting trivia night at this one arcade, this retro arcade. I was doing that every week, and that was a lot of fun. And you just get different experience wherever you go.
Yeah, I looked at some of your thing, at some of your content. I think it was a joke about shaking hands. I thought it was really witty.
Oh, thanks, man.
But I see that me and you have similar problems with the social media. What's your thoughts about like the shaming and the hate of your your creation and your joke making when you put it online? What's your thoughts about that? Does that get on your nerves a little bit? The hate sometimes?
Are you talking about like online comments, or just
the trolling of you putting your stand up online? Does that get tiring to you?
No, I mean, I don't really care. It's all love to me, It all makes the algorithm go. I don't, actually, I like it when people kind of hate on my stuff more, because then they get more excited. They put more energy into it that way, bring on the haters. That's what I have to say. You can hate on me all you want, come and be my friend.
Yeah. Like I saw the comments, I said, man, like I just, me personally, I just laugh at them, but it does get tiresome. Like it's a hard, I've only been doing it 4 months, and I've seen, it's pretty hard to get on that stage every week or how many times you do it and try to come up with witty ways to make somebody laugh. I don't care if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It's a challenge to just do that. You know what I mean? Every time.
Yeah, I think. I mean, I don't think people. It's always funny to see a first timer go up who's been really good at making their friends laugh, and they don't know that they're not that funny. And they go up and then they start trying to do the thing that they do with their friends and no one's laughing and they're just like, they have the realization that, oh, I'm only funny with my friends. And there's some stand-up comedians who've been doing it for a while that are only funny with their select people. So it happens across the board. It's not just with beginners. I haven't gotten to the point. Well, okay, I have gotten to the point where I can use my charisma and my physical comedy, my charisma, my pizzazz, whatever you want to call it, to get people to laugh at what I'm saying, even if it's not funny. And I can get them to do it also with timing. There's certain tricks in comedy that a lot of people don't talk about when it comes to people that are, I guess, doing it around the same amount of time as me. There's a lot of tricks in comedy that they don't know, or they do know and they're using by accident. But I know a lot of the tricks now. I've been using them and I know timing and stuff. But sometimes I just like to experiment. I'll just like mess around just to see what happens, because I'm still in that experimentation phase. You're still very fresh. So I wouldn't even worry about putting out any content. I don't put out much content right now just because I'm very much in the experimentation phase. So I don't want it to just reflect completely on me like that's him 100%. Like I'm going to be progressing from this point, and you're going to see a different comedian emerge in the next like 2 to 3 years.
So who are some of your influences in your comedy when as a kid? Who did you like back in the day or currently that you say, man, I like his comedy style? Anybody early on you was influenced by?
Yeah. I was, well, I saw the Kings of Comedy back. I can't remember exactly how old I was, but I want to say maybe 12 or 10, maybe 11 or 12. I saw the Kings of Comedy on, I want to say it was BET, some parts of it, or maybe I saw the whole thing. I can't remember, but I saw Bernie Mac was my favorite. And I just fell in love with Bernie Mac's style of comedy, just how amazing he was at telling a story and using his facial expressions. And I also, at that same time, was a huge fan of In Living Color. And I grew up being in love with the Wayans brothers and Jim Carrey. And so I was really into the physical comedy people a lot as a kid, because it was so easy to laugh at that, But as I got older, I've changed quite a bit. And, I've gotten into people that are using less physical, like Patrice O'Neal. You just got to listen to what he has to say and you'll laugh your ass off,
Yeah, I like that joke when he was talking about, he was going through the supermarket and he said, man, he said he saw some chocolate chip cookies or donuts and he started having a panic attack. Yeah, that was a good, you know what I mean? I never heard somebody tackle diabetes like he did. I mean, joking about it.
Yeah, you got to turn those lemons into lemonade, and that's what I try to do on stage. So whenever I get some kind of hand dealt to me, I try to turn it into something I can feed off of instead of it feeding off of me. So, like, I had this situation happen where this guy made me basically lose out on $700. And it had to do with me working at I was doing this side gig at Nike, the headquarters over here in Beaverton. And the guy that was he was like, I guess, my manager or whatever, but he kicked me off the job early because he had some ego issue. And I was just like, yeah, fuck that job. They they made me feel like I had to be all into Nike, but guess what? I was wearing Adidas socks the whole time.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, see, it's definitely a lot of. I just feel like it's ego everywhere, man. People get in certain positions, man, and just let it blow in. You know what I mean? In their head, man. Blow up their head, man. It'd be crazy.
Oh, well, I mean, comedy is huge like that. You just got to run with the circles that want to run with you, I think.
Is Oregon a big cliquey area for comedy? I'm noticing that on the East Coast is real cliquey.
Yeah, it's pretty cliquey in Portland, I would say. I don't know about the rest of Oregon. I think Portland has definitely different sections of comedians. Like some comedians just don't go to certain open mics because they don't feel comfortable telling their style of jokes.
I like, you know what I mean? I'm on the East Coast right now, so I'm just roaming. I'm trying to go to Philly eventually. Just check
Where are you? Are you in New York? Or?
No, I'm in Delaware.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How's the comedy scene out there?
It's just small.
Okay.
It's really small.
How many can you, like, for out here? I could do like 2 to 3 open mics a day if I wanted to.
Nah, we don't got it like that yet. So we only got one spot like Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I had to go to like Philly or Maryland. I'm originally from Maryland, so I had to go to Maryland or somewhere. Because Baltimore is a big scene.
Yeah, that's what
Baltimore
I hear.
has a big scene.
Yeah, so it's also what
Baltimore,
Chicago.
DC too. In DC, got a big scene too.
Okay. Yeah, I've never really. I've been thinking about trying to go to a new state to do comedy, and just because the West Coast for me, the way I am, just we don't mesh that well. I'm a little too abrasive for the for the West Coast. I'm too much of a true comedian, I think, and not to say that people aren't, but I just come off like very mouthy. And I don't hold back, and I don't kiss a lot of ass either. So, I don't exactly fit in super well out here. So,
So you was thinking about moving or moving to?
Yeah, I was looking at other states. I keep seeing everyone saying New York, and I'm like, that's like the obvious. New York, New York City is the obvious choice, but it's like, how would I even do that?
Well, everybody right now is talking about Austin, Texas, because the Kill Tony vibe and
right,
Joe Rogan and the crew they got out there. Everybody, I've been just reading online saying Texas is the place, supposedly.
Yeah, that's that's definitely what everyone says, but usually when that's become too much, it's already saturated. Like I hear, sorry, I hear Austin has a ton of comics now. Like it's like super saturated with comedians. And I was just thinking, well, maybe Austin isn't the obvious choice now, because maybe a place where people are like, yeah, I can't. They're not talking about it like it's the number one choice anymore, but it still might be, which would be like maybe New York City. It's just like I hear you can still get a lot of time, and you can get a lot of exposure to larger comedians. One of my main thing is I always want to get exposure to larger comedians, like bigger comedians that have been doing it professionally, and I can kind of vibe off them, because right now I'm just meeting people who are barely making it, just like me, and yeah, they're doing some shows here and there, and maybe and a lot of them are doing more shows than I'm doing every month, but still, it's like, what is that doing for you? That's giving you stage time, but are you getting connections? Are you getting exposure? Like, what's happening exactly behind the scenes? So I just don't feel like it it works as well. I don't think people have as good a comedy out here if they stay out here. You have to leave here to grow your comedy.
You know, and I seen this just, you know, in the Facebook groups, and I see there's some people that just stay in their location and their state forever, and they're just like being local legends. And it seems like you don't want to be a local legend. You want to branch out.
Yeah, I mean, some people do really well, apparently, I guess. If you get enough gigs, you can stay local and survive that way. But I don't really want to. I want to make it big enough to where I can sell out theaters and stuff, you know? So I just, I think the only way you really grow is to do something uncomfortable. And moving is an uncomfortable thing. And moving itself, you have to grow in a way to move in any kind of direction in life. There's some growth involved. So I just feel that moving from a place that you feel stagnant in to a place that you're feeling like you can grow, or at least you have some room to grow, would be a better idea if you're doing comedy or any kind of art, I guess.
So if you move, would you be interested in, you know, if somebody calls you to do a movie, would you be interested to do acting too with your comedy, or no?
I don't really like acting. I'm not saying I hate it and I wouldn't do it. I definitely, I've done some minor acting stuff, but it's not on my list of things to do. I think it maybe back when movies were big, I would have been like, yeah, I really want to do a big comedy movie. Or back when, you know, shows were still a thing. Like, I don't even know, does anyone watch comedy shows, or if there's anything worth watching comedy wise for shows? But it's not like it used to be, you know. It used to be really big. Now it's just like whatever.
Yeah, I definitely feel you on that. Nobody watch SNL no more, or there's no Mad TV likes, you know what I mean? Or
yeah, like if SNL was like, hey, Sam Bass, we want you on SNL. Like if I ever got to be good enough to be invited to be on SNL, then I'd be like, let me think about it. I mean, I would also honestly have to think about it, just because like before, like I don't think I would have. If they asked me to be on the Daily Show, I'd go on the Daily Show to meet Jon Stewart. I think he's awesome. But yeah, I don't have any. I was big in it. I thought SNL was pretty cool, although it was a little weird back in the day when I was a kid. And I love Martin Short and Steve Martin and Eddie Murphy. But it just now it's just not. He hasn't had the best writing, I think, and it just doesn't seems like they have too much of a social agenda to be funny. You know, like they should be able to have more humor involved and less agendas.
You know they ain't gonna be able to do that because it's the Me Too and PC movement. So it will never go back to the golden era of SNL.
Oh, right. Well, everything has its run.
Yeah. I like the Mad TV more than SNL personally.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I got into SNL a little bit when I was a kid, and I just always thought they had very odd way of doing humor in like the Wayne's World and stuff like that. I thought it was kind of funny.
I like the Chris Farley on there.
Chris Farley, when he, like, one of my favorite Chris Farley is when he's dancing like a nude exotic dancer next to Patrick Swayze. You know, that was hilarious. You know, that's a very, and when Jim Carrey was on there once, that was really funny. You know, they've had some moments, but as far as being consecutively funny, laugh out loud funny, you know, I'd say like Mad TV, In Living Color, I was just dying laughing at what they produced, you know.
So, Sam Bass, what is your ideal place to have a comedy special at? If you had the money and the resources, where would you want to do your special at?
I mean, if I could put it anywhere, I'd do it on Mars.
That's wild. You might have to call Elon for that.
Yeah, I need a hookup, Elon. Hook me up with a rocket.
You might have to hook you up with that.
I just need one rocket, not two, just one rocket. I'll bring it back. I mean, but my record with vehicles isn't great, so I hope he doesn't look up my driving history.
Wow. You crush a lot of whips, or?
I've totaled 4 cars and 3 motorcycles.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was never drunk or high.
Wow.
Yeah, I was high off adrenaline. I was what they called a junkie for adrenaline.
Wow.
No, it was pretty wild. I used to race motorcycles and did mixed martial arts. I was like a skinny, tall Joe Rogan. I had a lot of testosterone going through me.
What martial arts did you do?
I did mixed martial arts with a kung fu base. I did Wing Chun. I did Kinjitsu, which is like Japanese sword fighting. I did a knife fighting, knife throwing. I was also really into eskrima sticks, those twin sticks. And also my first martial art weapon I ever got into was the sais that Raphael used in Ninja Turtles. Mm-hmm. Even though I have Donatello up here, but I would have a Raphael hat if I could. Anyone want to send me one? But I loved Raphael because he had an anger problem and I had an anger problem, so I could relate.
That's it. I think I did a little bit of martial arts myself. I did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu a little bit.
Nice.
And a little boxing, a little kickboxing. But I think that's definitely a good thing to do. It's good stress relief and teach you discipline.
Oh yeah. Oh dude, there was a buddy of mine. He's not a buddy anymore after that night, but we went out to San Francisco. This was back when I lived in Napa, and we worked at this website security company, whatever. It was a stupid place, but we went and down to San Francisco to blow off some steam, and he kind of lost track of where he parked his car, and he got really, really mad and started just flipping out. And on the drive home, he was still flipping out. And I'm like, dude, you need a punching bag, bro. You need to hit something. You need to get out this pent up crazy energy you got going on, because you're just taking it out on anyone whenever something happens that's inconvenient. That's not a good thing. It's like really, really dangerous. So I remember his name. I won't say his last name, but his first name was Rashad. And he just would, the guy was nice up until he wasn't. And I'm like, what is going on with you, dude? Get a punching bag. But that being said, I did Sambo. Do you know what Sambo is?
Oh, that's what, that Russian judo?
Yeah,
type?
Russian jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I did that as well for a couple years until I hurt my back really bad.
Yeah, I think Khabib does that or something, right? Khabib, the UFC champion, the Russian.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, man. I think that is a great martial art to learn. This martial arts in general is benefits the mind and stuff like that, man. I think it's needed.
Yeah, I mean, like, how did you feel after doing some sparring, or did you feel like at peace more?
Yeah, I enjoyed the process, man. I ran into a couple guys, couple Olympian wrestlers who used to come to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu just to train, just the experience of knowing that there's somebody out there who's better than you is really humbling.
Yeah, someone could kick your ass really badly, but they're like the nicest person.
Yeah, so I think that always keep you in your mind, man. I gotta know how to talk to people, because you never know who you're gonna run into. You might run into John Wick and not even know it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. No, I mean he rides a motorcycle around, and you wouldn't know you running into Neo himself unless he took off the visor or took off the helmet.
So so it's always. I feel like martial arts are a great thing for just to teach you problem solving. I never met a person who is a black belt just goes around fucking with people. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that is needed because it teaches you how to problem solve. Martial
Ye-
arts in general.
Oh yeah. I always, when I was like doing jujitsu, for instance, you get in those situations where you feel like you can't breathe,
Mhm.
and you feel like you're about to, you feel like you're gonna die or something, and then you like have to psych yourself out of that feeling and calm yourself down and just really be in the moment instead of that flight mode of panic. And I think that teaches people how to deal with real life situations when they're not doing the martial arts. So I wish everyone would do some practice, do some martial arts, like a year or two of martial arts. Other countries, they require all their citizens to do like a year or two of military training, and that should be required from every country if you have any kind of military involved, and then you can understand how it is to actually do some kind of real combat and what it can really lead to. People take things a lot more seriously, I think.
Yeah, I think so too, man. But if he gave that to everybody, man, somebody would misuse it, and we have another Delarue for Dahmer kidnapping people and pickleizing them.
Well, I mean, if you're hungry.
Mhm. Sometimes you eat it. Sometimes you eat it. You go on the stage too. Sometimes you bomb. You know what I mean. And was in your early stages? Did you get nervous when you heard quiet when you was on stage?
When I heard quiet,
Just yeah, just
like when
scratching
I
in the
don't,
air. There's nothing, no laughs. Did you ever get nervous in the beginning stage?
uh, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's weird to, and I still get that, because I'll try new jokes. I'll say the punchline and no laughs happen. And actually, it's so great. Comedy is so. That's why one of the things I love about comedy is that you can get huge laughs from a punchline in one city and then go to another city or another venue and then get no laughs for the same joke or the same punchline. And it's just like yeah, so it's weird, but when I first experienced the no laughter when I would say something, I just kind of felt like I needed to keep going, so I would continue talking, and I didn't really acknowledge it all the time, but I would say I started to acknowledge it, and that helped me a lot. Whenever I would not get laughter, I would acknowledge the silence, and I'd be like, "Oh, I guess that joke wasn't. You weren't into that joke. What, or like, what, you didn't like this about that joke, I guess, or something like that." I would talk about what that uncomfortableness was, and that's always a good thing, I think, because then you can get a laugh off of you making fun of your own awkwardness.
But how did you? I feel like sometimes, what I mean, this early on, I'm only been doing it 4 months. I feel like when you're up there, it feel like a aura of highness you get from the stage. What about yourself? Sometimes you feel like you're on like a cloud, or sometimes when you do it,
That I get like what was the
like
first
a
part?
natural high from when you're on the stage,
Oh,
like
well,
a
this like yeah, the adrenaline rush I get.
yeah.
Yeah, that definitely hits me, especially at a new place. If the crowd is big, I'm way more pumped up. But yeah, it can be it can be a little. It feels a little overwhelming. Especially when I first started doing it. But now I've done it so much that I'm kind of like, it's hard for me to get too riled up about it. I just accept the moment and try to be in the moment and not really care about what I'm about, what's all around me, but just care about what I'm trying to say when I go up there.
You know what I mean? When I'm been doing the open mics, man, it feels like death row waiting for your time. You know what I mean? When you wait, you're waiting in the seat, you're just waiting for somebody to call your name. Like, it feels like death row till you get up there. When I first got on there my first open mic, it felt like death row.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it kind of feels like, yeah, it's like your number's up, but but I think that for me, the way I started looking at it, and this keeps me in the best frame of mind, I just look at it like, oh, they're waiting. I'm not waiting for them; they're waiting for me.
That's good. I appreciate you coming on, man. Let the people know your social medias, what you got coming up there. If anybody's watching from, Portland, what can they look forward to and all that?
Yeah, I mean, my social is basically Sandbass Comedy. You can see it under my name there. My website's sandbasscomedy.com, and until I have to pay for my website again, and maybe it might not be. We'll see. But no, it should be good. I'm bad at doing paperwork. Sometimes I forget to do stuff, and also I'm trying to change my website over to a new platform because I don't like Wix. I don't think Wix is a very good platform, and they're not paying me anything, so I can say whatever I want. But yeah, that's my social and YouTube. Check out that. Add me on YouTube because that helps, and just adding me on social helps my journey because the more people that follow my stuff, the more interactions I can get, and hopefully get more exposure out there and see how that goes. But I definitely am performing out here in Portland, and if you go to my website, I have a calendar and you can see where I'm going to be next.
All right, man. I appreciate you giving me your time, man.
Hey, thanks for the time too.
This has been Rod Uncensored. We'll see y'all later, man. Hopefully you have a good rest of your week, and we're out.
Thanks, Rod.